Most of the things you see in the world that you were born in are programs and illusions. Say, for instance, seeing a dog in a skirt, seeing mascot, seeing insurance companies and their adverts, seeing the persistence of a group of people protesting for certain laws and certain rights that they know they'll never get. You see what I'm saying? And then you find out the people in those protests are being paid to do what they need to do for a larger political affair. You find out the mascot, the man in the mascot, hates being the mascot, but is pretending for the sake of chasing money. You find out that the dog is an animal who wants to be freed into the wild, but is modernized by society and humans who think they're humans to a degrading puppy. You see, it's an illusion. This is why I say depression is a choice. It's not necessarily real, if you understand what I'm saying. If you read the true meaning of depression, it's a mental disorder that can cause persistent sadness, loss of interest, and withdrawal from activities. It can affect the thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Depression can occur in anyone, but it's more common in women. You see, this that I just read in itself is diluted. The code in the meaning of depression is a bit diluted. But if you read it in codes and if you read it in terms of consciousness, everything is happening because of your state of mind, because of you, because you are the ultimate supercomputer that is operating in this realm. Yes? So, persistent sadness, you might be convincing yourself of illusions in your subconscious that you are not good enough for certain reasons, maybe trauma, which in itself is also an illusion, but we'll talk about that later on. Your mind is fickle, yes, but it is also powerful because it creates the perception of your reality, but it has to operate from your subconscious mind. But the way the reality works is that it portrays itself and pretends itself as an illusion, but it's only doing that because it's responding to your mind, you see. So a loss of interest because of the persistent effect in your mind. You keep yourself in isolation, you see, but your body is responding to your mind. That's why you're withdrawing from these activities. You see what I'm saying? It's all because of your mind, but you create an illusion of trauma as a source to cause this depression. You see what I'm saying? You're doing it to yourself. Nothing is really happening to you, but everything is happening to you at the same time because you've created that illusion in your mind. That's why you're now in a low vibrational state. You see what I'm saying? But you cannot tell this to the normal person who is in a victimized state and is just all me because they've trapped themselves into that illusion of trauma. It's a bit too late for them. Some people are just not meant to view it the way I've just broken it down, but some people get it instantly because they're aware of self, they're aware of consciousness, they're aware that nothing is really happening unless I make it happen. It's easy to be happy, yes, But it is harder to remain happy even when there are illusions in this realm testing to see whether you can remain in that frequency state. If you have to, like, for instance, pay bills, yeah, paying bills in itself is the illusion. Like, why are we paying bills to stay on a land that's supposed to be free? Another story for another day. But that feeling you get of fuck, I just threw away some cash, and now it's like, I gotta have more cash for the next day, and the next day, and the next day. It's just a bubble in your mind that you're creating, but it's an illusion in itself, you see, because it can't be real to the perception of reality unless you make it real. But that's, you need to understand that that voice that creeps up, it's sometimes your shadow, aka your ego. It creeps up in certain times where you need it, but it also creeps up in times where it's kind of testing you to see whether you can remain in a higher state of consciousness so that you can, that your reality can resonate with that consciousness. It's the same with depression. It's like, if I pretend to be someone who I'm not, my reality has to respond to that person for the remainder moment, because all we have is the present, the moment. You see what I'm saying? But if we treat ourselves with self respect and a lot of love and harmony, the reality has no choice but to respond to that, because your mind is remaining clear. It's remaining firm to that sort of frequency and vibration that it's chanting towards this reality. The reality only responds to how the reality in your mind operates, your consciousness. But it's fickle because people just keep themselves in a victimized state, which is subconscious, aka the body. But the body is not who we are. We are consciousness, the thing inside our body that's telling us to do and feel and react. But the thing is that people are not strong enough to accept their shadow, accept that all the bad things about them is because of them, all the good things about them is because of them. And to understand that from understanding those two things, there's nothing really, nothing really is good, nothing really is bad. It's all an illusion. It's just what it is. It's just happening, because that is what flow is. Flow is when you're so in the moment and in touch with the present, is that you allow things to just occur because your consciousness is remain firm to the idea that you will always be good and you'll always just exist regardless of what happens or what occurs, because those are just illusions testing whether to see you can remain firm in that frequency. Now when you're in depression, the illusions are responding to your mind of sadness and anger and isolation, but it's also testing to see whether you can take yourself out of the state. That's why it's happening. The bad things that happen to you are just tests. The good thing that happen to you are just tests. Because sometimes when good things happen to good people, it changes them to bad people. And then when good things happen to bad people, it changes them to good people. You see what I'm saying? It's all just a big illusion coexisting with one another, but people are forgetting that we are just existing. There is no such thing as good and bad.